name's Pepe. I'm a success coach. We're going to talk about today tapping into that spiritual power within you. So we don't have to go get it somewhere. It's already within us. So now today we're going to talk about how to tap into that power. More than ever today, I'm going to need you to be listening from that place of possibility rather than I agree or I disagree. Again, when we listen to someone, a lot of times we do. We go through, oh, I agree with that, I don't agree with that, and so on. What we're going to talk about today, and always really, is I'm going to ask you to listen from a place of possibility, meaning what's possible out of what I'm hearing here toward what's important to me. Now, I assume you have a lot of things that may be important to you out there in the world. So listen from that place of possibility. Go out, try this on, see if it fits, wear it for a while, okay? And especially today, like I said, because we're going to be tapping into a conversation about our spiritual power and our spiritual connection. Now, again, when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about religion. So for those of you who may be saying, oh, God, religion, I don't need that. I remember religion, or whatever you may have as a conversation about religion. It's not about religion. It's about spirituality. And spirituality, for our definition, and I always like to set up our definitions that we're on the same page. So our definition today and always of spirituality is our connection to God, basically. It's been said that somewhere about 85 to 90% of all the people in the world believe in God. So we're going to assume that you do. And we're not going to have a debate about that or whatever. We're just going to be calling God or higher power, whatever word we use for it. But that's basically what we're going to be talking about. That spiritual power, that spiritual connection with God. So what we want to do is what better way can we connect with God than really to dig into His Word. Now, His Word comes out of the Bible. So it's been said that the Bible is God-breathed to man, and man wrote it, given to them by God. Again, from that place of possibility, I want you to listen from what we're going to talk about today over the next 20, 30 minutes or so. So today we're going to break down the Bible a little bit more than perhaps we have in the past. A lot of people I talk to, and I've talked to a lot of people over the years about the Bible and what they believe or don't believe and what they do and don't do. And a lot of people I've talked to have a conversation about the Bible. Oh, it's so confusing. I can't understand it, so I don't read it, or I stopped reading it, or I put it away and it's now in the trunk with my golf clubs, or whatever is going on. And I find that that's a going prevalent, really, in a lot of different areas. So what we're going to do today, we're going to break the Bible down in a little bit smaller increments. And in order to do that, though, I want to remind you of a law of the universe that we're going to be referring back to quite a bit when we talk about the Bible, because the Bible is not only a tool to get closer to God and whatever, it's also a tool to help us learn how to be more effective as human beings. It's again, created by man, given to them by God. And so God being the person who put this all together, it's a good idea maybe to look at from his words. It's almost like if we wanted to find out what the Model T Ford was like, we would probably want to read what Henry Ford said about it, because he created it. And so the same with this, the Bible. It's God created it. Why not listen to some of what he shared with us? But yet, I want you to listen to it from not something that was written 2,000, 3,000 years ago, but really something that you can use today in what you're up to today. Now, we've learned a lot over the last 2,000, 3,000 years. And so one of the things we learned is, and it's been in existence ever since the universe was created, but is the law of attraction. And again, for our purposes, the law of attraction is basically stating whatever our predominant thoughts and conversations are, we're going to attract from the universe. So whatever our predominant thoughts and conversations are, we're going to attract from the universe. And so when we're looking at the Bible and some of the statements that are in the Bible, I want you to relate it back to this natural law of the universe. It's not a bumper sticker, law of attraction. It's a quantum physical law that states whatever our predominant thoughts or conversations are, we're going to attract from the universe. So we're going to go through some different Bible verses in order to see how those connect to what it is that the law of the universe is telling us. So some of the teachings of Jesus, some of the teachings of other people who have written in the Bible, we're then going to break them down into a more scientific aspect of the Bible, as opposed to just, okay, you got to believe it just because you believe it. Because we're going to match them up. And then you can see for sure how it's going to affect you or how it's going to help you out there in the world. So there was a couple of things that I want to get right to the beginning of the Bible, which is in Genesis, is when God created all of the heavens and the earth and all of what he did in the 6 days that he was creating the world, really. And one of the things it talks about, or it talks about it quite a bit, he said, and God said, and God said, and God said, and God said, let there be light, and God said, let there be this. And so God was speaking into existence. That was what he was wanting. And that's really affirmations, if you will. In fact, in the Bible, it talks about it. It says, God called those things that be not as though they were. And that's what affirmations are calling those things that are not as though they were. And so when he was saying, let there be light, there was no light. I mean, there was not light. He was declaring it coming into being, really. And so that's what we want to do with our goals, our dreams, our aspirations, because it also says that we were created in the image of God, in his likeness, etc. And God was a creator. So if God was a creator, that makes us creators, you see. And so we want to be declaring, and God spoke it out loud. He wasn't just thinking it, and that's important because as we think things, they can get all disheveled with all the other thoughts that are going on. But when we start to speak them out loud, it takes away all those other thoughts. Now it just keeps us in the conversations. So I'm an abundant prospector. I'm an abundant, I'm healthy. I'm happy. Things happen for me. I'm blessed. I have things that I declare into the world. I take action on what I say. I create what I say. So you're calling those things that be not, perhaps, in your life as if they were. And that's the same thing with what God was doing. He said, let there be light. He was calling those things that be not as though they were. So when you're doing your affirmations, and again, an affirmation is a declaration that you want to have happen that may not already be in existence. You want to make it a certain amount of money a month, per se. An affirmation would be, I earn X amount of dollars, whatever the number is, per month consistently. And I have fun doing it, and it makes it easy, and it's creating it, etc. So you're declaring it as if it's already happened. And you do it out loud. You don't want to think it only. You want to declare it, just like God declared the universe into existence. We want to do the same thing with our affirmations. And so, again, the Bible is a great place to go to see how we operate and how we're going to get the best out of ourselves when we are generating from the information that we're getting from the Bible. And that's the purpose of my being here with you today, is really to get you back into that book. And I imagine you got a little bit more time today than you did, let's say, a month and a half ago. So this is a great time to start digging back into the manual, if you will, created by the maker of what was created, us, in the Bible. So this is a great time to get back into it, but only now getting back into it with more of an understanding of what you're reading and hearing. And again, the Bible, just like I ask you to do when we get together, you have to read the Bible, not from I agree or I disagree. You cannot read the Bible from a logical standpoint. It will not make any sense to you whatsoever. You have to read the Bible from that same place that I ask you to listen each time we get together, to You have to read the Bible from a place of possibility, meaning what's possible out of what I'm hearing here toward those things that are important to me. You see? And then you go out and try it on, see if it fits, like I asked you to do here. But you have to read the Bible that way. You read it any other way, you're not going to get the benefits out of it. God is not on a logical standpoint. God is spiritual. God is possibility. And we have to read it from God's place, not our place. So that's the one thing, every time you're going to read the Bible, you pick it up and you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to read this from a place of possibility. Not I agree, not I disagree. And then I'm going to go out and try it on, see if it fits where it fits. And these tools that I'm trying to teach you here today, I am, are tools that are going to help you to take that word and take it out into your life in the year 2020 and beyond. So like I said, we don't have to go back to all the years that ago that it was written. Now we can use it today for what we're up to. Then also too, one of the things that we want to look at is the term. I'm going to give you some of the. I'm not going to give you chapter and verse. I'm not going to go all through that. I've got about a half hour or so. But I'm going to give you some statements that came from the Bible. So I didn't make these up. But one of them says that ask and it is given, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. So that's a declaration, but it's also the way the universe works. As you are out there seeking and you're putting into your mind that this is what I want to create, then the universe is going to participate with you. When you ask for what you want, you're going to get what you want more often than when you don't ask for what you want. When you knock on the door of opportunity, whatever that is for you, that door is going to open more when you're doing more knocking. Do more knocking, get more opportunity. Do less knocking, get less opportunity. That's called the law of sowing and reaping. Again, another biblical statement. It says you sow abundantly, you reap abundantly. You sow sparingly, you reap sparingly. Law of the universe. And we know it here today as another law of attraction. So as I'm sowing more abundantly, I'm creating more abundantly. And it's interesting too, because when we're sowing more abundantly, we're really opening up the universe so much more that more stuff starts coming into us from different locations. And it seems like it's lucky. It seems like it's coincidental. No, it's the way the universe works. But when we're sowing sparingly and not that much, it closes down the universe for what can come into our lives. And most of us, all of us really, have desires, have goals, have dreams, have wants. That's okay. That's not something that's wrong. That's a part of human being. So don't make that wrong. But use these tools that you're going to learn from the Bible, not from me. I'm just a vehicle for you to direct you to the location you need to get to, which is the Word of God. How we work and how we're going to get the most out of ourselves, moment to moment to moment to moment. There's also, it talks about faith. And faith basically is confidence in what is hoped for and assurance about what is not seen. So we have 5 senses that we operate from: sight, touch, taste, that stuff. But there's a 6th sense, and that 6th sense is the universe. That's the much more powerful place in our lives is that 6th sense called the universe. But in order to get to that, you have to have faith, and faith is believing in what you're not seeing. If you're looking at what you see, then you're only going to be limited by what you see. And Jesus said it best when he was talking to Thomas, doubting Thomas. Thomas said, "Well, God, let me put my fingers in your side. Let me know that, I'll know that. Oh, yes. And now I believe that you are Jesus resurrected." Jesus said, "Yeah, well, that's fine. You saw it. But what about all those that haven't? And we're asking them to believe." That's what faith is. And faith is declaring in your own mind that this is going to happen, even though I don't see it. This, whatever this is, that your goal, your dreams, your aspiration, it's going to happen. I don't see it. I don't even know how it's going to happen, but I do believe it's going to happen. And as you're declaring that, and declare it out loud, if you're by yourself, don't declare it out loud with other people. It'll make you crazy. But declare it out loud as an affirmation, because that's what faith is. Affirmations are faith declaring, really, I'm going to create, I am creating, I am, I have, I create, etc. Those are all calling things that are not as though they were. That takes faith. But faith is the key to all of it. And faith is used so many times in the Bible that it's not just a catchy phrase, it's what we have to operate from. And by the way, all of this work that we have to create takes practice. We have to practice these articles and these things that I'm talking about here. Because if we don't practice what's going to work for us, most likely we're practicing what won't work for us. Whatever we practice, we get good at. So this today, on April 16th, I want you to have a new declaration called, I'm going to take on the Bible from a whole different perspective. I'm going to read it from a place of possibility. I'm going to go out and put it to use in my life to help others, to help myself, to help my family, to help us get past whatever is going on for us at the moment, to help us create whatever it is that we want to create. That's what my commitment is. And do it from a place of joy. You know, joy, the word joy or joyful or joyous or any derivative of joy is used more than any other word in the Bible except for love. Love is number one use in the Bible, but joy and any derivative of joy is number two. Now, the reason that is, I say, is because that's what God wants for us. We were created to be joyful. We were created to have joy. We were created to create this. Now, joy and happiness are two different things. Happiness is usually what you experience when you have something happen for you. Joy is an inside job. Joy is a way of being. And again, a lot of ways you can get to joy. You can do it through affirmations. You could do it through meditation. You could do it through things that make you happy and bring you up, etc. You could do it through your conversations. You could do it through your declarations. All of this is in there within you already. And so joy has to be your way of being. And whatever you're doing, you do it from a place of joy. Wherever you're going, you do it from a place of joy. Whatever's going on for you, you do it from a place of joy. Even if it's not working for you, you come from joy, you'll have it work for you much more. You don't come from joy, you come from fear or doubt or worry or anxiety. You're going to have that going on a lot more for you. So come from joy. What we're doing through, what we're going through right now, find the good in it. Find the affirmations that make it bring you up, as opposed to the affirmations that bring you down, and the declarations and the things that you're speaking. But you have to do it from a place of possibility. Not like I agree or I disagree, but a place of possibility. And then last but not least, Jesus talked about worry. So don't worry. Don't put that which is going to make you worry. Is it going to give you one more day to your life? Is it going to give you one more inch to your height? Is it going to do any of those things? No. And you know, Jesus didn't say don't worry because he thought, well, we weren't going to have a problem with that. You know, he didn't say, hey, if you go to a window and you start to go out the window and you flap your arms a lot so you could fly. He didn't tell us that because he knew that wasn't going to be a problem for us. We're not going to fly anywhere. But he told us about worry because I believe he knew we were going to have a problem with that. And so he wouldn't have shared it with us to how to get out of it if he didn't know that we were going to have a problem with that thing called worry. And so worry is nothing more than faith in reverse, because worry usually is more about the fear of what might happen at the other end of this situation or whatever than faith is. You know, what faith is a belief it's going to turn out. Worry or fear is a doubt that it's not going to turn out. And again, we're going to be doing one or the other, and we're making up whatever the future is. Again, if you know the future, you can tell what it is. Get a 1-900 psychic hotline and be a psychic if you know the future. And the unfortunate part about human being, and this is what I think Jesus was saying, is that we tend to do more worrying about the future than we do anticipating great things about the future. The Bible tells us to do it differently. The Bible said, call those things that be not great life after this, getting handled this problem we got now with staying in, getting over all of the economic woes and means and having it be how we want it to be. All of those affirmations, we got to declare it as if it's already occurred. And we keep declaring it, even though the evidence is not showing us differently. The evidence may be showing us that we're in the house and we have to do this and we have to do that. But the declaration or the affirmation is bringing to us closer that which we want to have happen, not what we have happened now. We can either look at what we have or we can look at what we want. And again, the way to find that out, and this is why joy is used so much, which one makes you more joyful? Which one makes you feel better? Looking at what you have, especially if you don't want it, or looking about what you want as if you already have it. And that's the indicator of where you, me, all of us need to be putting our attention. But how do we do that? Practice, practice, practice. Every one of these things that are talked about in the Bible are meant to be taken on and practiced. That's why if you go find your Bible, if you don't know where it is, it may be in the cabinet, it may be under the shelf of where the books were, or in the car under the golf clubs, wherever it is, go get it and pull it out and start reading the Bible, especially the New Testament. New Testament is really called the good news. And that's what we need more now than ever. We need the good news. It's there. It's always been there. Now, read it from those places that we've talked about. And then what you'll find is that all of the things that you want out there, you're doing and creating it and generating it from a much higher power than when you're not doing God's work, when you're not using the words that were given to us by so many people. And I want to leave you with this one last statement here. And this was from Paul, who wrote 2/3 of the New Testament, really. And what he said was, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, and whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And the God of peace will be with you. And by the way, Paul was in prison when he wrote that. And that was his advice. And that's where he's telling us to be. To think on those things that make you feel good. Think on those things that give you empowerment. Think on those things that are bringing you up instead of down. And when you do, you watch how much more life shows up to support you in that and giving you more of what you've been creating over this lifetime and what you're wanting to create moving forward. So take this on, practice it, use it from here on in for the rest of your life, teach it to your kids, just whatever it takes for you to be more empowered based on what was written in this book, best-selling book in the world called the Bible. Let's use it, let's create it. And until next time, live the life you love and love the life you live.